Oh, well, there are many different types of visas. There's actually a visa for just about every letter in the alphabet. um, but they break down into kind of primary categories. And the major categories in terms of visas are family visas, employment visas, humanitarian visas, and diversity visas. Those are kind of the major categories. But then within those, there's a lot of variety and different classifications that people can enter the country on.
My name is Oscar Barbosa, spelled Oscar-Barbosa. Well, my name is Oscar Barbosa. I'm an attorney at Diaspora Lawyers and Immigration Law Firm. What we do on a day-to-day basis is help people apply for citizenships, work authorizations, visas. The law firm was founded in 2013. We're almost going into 6 years of working on immigration matters. On a day-to-day basis, we're helping people apply for immigration, visas, green cards, work authorizations. Our mission is to educate the public and inform about what the immigration laws are, how to navigate them. And we also hope to help as many people as possible navigate this process.
Okay. Teresita Viveros Ledesma. Okay. My personal experience, we've been trying for years, my whole family. I've been here since I was 3, so it's been a long process. I have not received my visa yet, but hopefully I will. I think that a bigger light has been shone on what the issue is. So I think that puts a lot of pressure for the government to maybe possibly give out visas to students and families that truly should get them.
As a law firm, we help anybody that needs assistance on immigration. Some people are U.S. citizens that want to bring family members. Some people are foreigners that are trying to come into the U.S. and are trying to get a visa or work authorization.
So in terms of the United States immigration system, the kind of most robust system for migration and for visas is the family system. So of about 1.2 million green cards that are granted each year, about 800,000 of those are family visas, and people entering the country to reunite with their family members.
I think getting more informed, so seeking out anyone that has a legal point of view of how to get a visa. Personally, my family has been going through a lot of lawyers trying to find the best one to see who can provide us with the best information.
Well, in the near future, we hope to help as many people as possible. On a day-to-day basis, we're taking calls, emails, and inquiries for immigrants that want to navigate this process. So we're happy to help as many people as possible. All other thing that we are trying to do in the short term is educate the public. We like to give informational interviews, we like to do presentations, we like to go to conferences in order to help everyone understand what immigration is about and how this process works.
Well, step one is being eligible for the visa. I think often that's one of the misconceptions, is that, well, why don't people just go get a visa? Or like go down to the immigration office and fill out the paperwork to have the proper status in the United States. And that's simply not how it works, right? Most of the people who want to migrate to the United States don't qualify for these visas. Most of the people who are undocumented in the United States don't qualify for these visas. It's actually very limited in terms of who qualifies and can enter on these different types of visas. So, for instance, for family visas, which is the biggest category, you have to be a qualifying relative, so it's not just any family member who can be petitioned for to enter the United States. And then there is there are quotas in many of the categories for different family members, which has led to a backlog, which leads to wait times. So at this point, you have in some categories people who are in a line or a backlog of 23 years before they can come to the United States and reunite with their family members, right? And so there's kind of a range of wait times. And so, now there's a lot of talk about family separation, and what was happening on the border, which is incredibly important and deserves our attention. But family separation has been happening for a long time, right? And the visa system is one of the things that contributes to that. By having these quotas and these backlogs, families have to come kind of staggered to the United States, and they're separated as they migrate to the United States to try to reunite. And then there's a whole list of things that requirements that people have to meet then even if they are eligible for a visa. And so those are called the inadmissibility grounds. So there are certain things that even if somebody's eligible in terms of a relationship to a family member or through employment or through the diversity lottery, that could bar them from entering the United States. And so some of those things are they do medical screenings. You have to show that you will not be a public charge, meaning that you will not need to rely on public benefits in the United States. They check whether you have certain crimes on your record, and even low-level petty offenses can exclude you from entering the United States. For instance, even like a marijuana possession charge would bar you from entering the United States potentially. And there's a whole list of things. They look at your immigration history. Certain immigration violations would bar you from re-entering the United States. And so those are some of the requirements in order to enter on a visa.
One quick question.
Sure.
What is the cost of it?
Oh, yes. In terms of cost, it depends on the visa.
On a day-to-day basis as an immigration attorney, I meet with clients, sometimes over the phone, sometimes in person. Once I have met with clients and review the case, then we will work on the matter. We will ask them to bring us documentation and we work on an application. If I'm not meeting with clients, sometimes I'm working on the case. In other instances, I'm going to government officers. I'm dealing with USCIS, with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or with the courts, with the Department of Justice, trying to figure out how to help an immigrant be able to stay in the U.S.
We faced the challenges of how we got into the country. So stating your situation, they do take that obviously into a big consideration. And because we came here altogether without any legal right to, that kind of set us back a bit. And it's been kind of hard ever since.
Well, step one is being eligible for the visa. I think often that's one of the misconceptions is that, well, why don't people just go get a visa? Or like go down to the immigration office and fill out the paperwork to have the proper status in the United States. Very limited in terms of who qualifies and can enter on these different types of visas. So, for instance, for family visas, which is the biggest category, you have to be a qualifying relative, so it's not just any family member who can be petitioned for to enter the United States. And then there is there are quotas in many of the categories for different family members, which has led to a backlog, which leads to wait times.
Some of our biggest accomplishments in the office have been to help people become citizens. As soon as over 20 people have become citizens over the last 6 years. Once they become citizens, they're able to vote and they're able to maintain a more solid jobs at times. They'll also be able to contribute and know that the Social Security Fund is going to be there for them. One of our proudest moments really is helping people become citizens. Aside of that, we have helped many bring their family members from abroad, and other people that's been in deportation proceedings, help them stay in the U.S.
In terms of cost, it depends on the visa and how you're entering the United States, but what I can say is that any process with immigration, in terms of a visa process, there are fees that are associated with all of those forms and all of the visas. And so for let's say someone who's entering the United States on a family visa, it may depend on their situation, but we're talking about thousands of dollars, right? If you look at what the form fees cost them, and then if they have some assistance, which we generally recommend that people have some guidance in going through these processes, which are complex, then if you're also looking at attorney's fees, you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars that people are spending in order to be able to reunite with their families.